Who's watching the watchers? And what does that question even mean? The origins of the Casual Watcher series were casual indeed. Down from the high hills, in the city, running chores, and there I was watching the ways of the world, and I was watching myself watching it. So it dawned to me, this frame of awareness too, as with all the others, should be documented. In the first 4 episodes of the Casual Watcher series, included in this anthology, we look at landing on the witness plane, at orienting to raw plain nature, at adapting to our emotional weather, and at rising to a higher vantage point of perception. Then, friends, watchers, all systems primed, reactions turned off, opinions turned off, witnessing what follows. In the first installment, we're in the heart of the bustling city, distant but present, watching and relating to the reality bubbles floating in the sea of conscious existence. Your friendly casual observer, gazing and grazing in downtown Yogyakarta, in the heart of the island of Java. Every once in a while, I need to come down from the high hills, get some chores done in the city, stuff we don't get at a local market, cat food, milk, stainless steel plates, whatever. I may come down from the high hills, but the casual observer never leaves the Causal Watchtower. So here we are, wandering the ways of the world. What are all these people doing? What's driving them? Why are they even moving? Each one of them living in worlds of their own design, some consciously pursuing phantoms, others doing it out of habit. Some things, when seen, simply cannot be unseen. It's not like I'm lounging here trying hard to philosophize. The density of the hallucination, both individual and collective, is very tangible. The atmosphere is saturated, especially when the shopping season arrives. Even at the best of times, the most peaceful of seasons, the matrix envelopes the collective mind. I need only leave my house and hermitage, come for a walk in the village. The bubbles are all there, just a different flavor. There's an intense shallowness to the hollowness. One wonders, how is it ever even sustained? Once you see it for the hologram that it is, you can't hold on to it. And yes, there are those who do not simply pursue selfish desire for their fulfillment. Their mesh and matrix is broader. Some move about, do things out of duty for their families, for their community. That is better. Yet there is no true fulfillment in fulfilling the selfish desires of those in your extended sphere. Then there's the other odd fellow somewhere camping under a bridge. Some of them possess high wisdom. In a watchtower under the bridge, they see, but they remain disconnected. Who moves about to the tune of the greatest needs of the world, not to the tunes of the self. That one moves in integration, in witnessing the patterns, the conditioning and the purpose of all of these loops toward their eventual resolution. We contribute as we can, seeding little bits of deeper and broader meaning, detached from the outcomes, yet seeding resolutions wherever we may roam. Hermit life, solitude in the midst of a busy world, watching the waves, weaving the threads, not by design, but in natural reflection. One of these days yet, these years, these eons, the world will ripen, come to clear awareness and taste the true flavors of its nature. Beyond their trivial pursuits, bursting the bubbles of their hallucinations, beyond conditions, basking in the radiance of actuality. From a back alley parking lot in downtown Yogyakarta, casual watcher checking out. Mind your step, keep the tower clear. Back home on the hillside, fresh air, wide open spaces. City runs, sure. City dwelling, city life, No, thank you. It's not a human habitat. All right. In the second installment, we're back in nature in all of its raw suchness. In the tree, but the tree. In the mountain, just the mountain. In the scene, only the scene. In the herd, only the herd. All things as they are. To that we orient. Another day in the wild. A casual walk with doggy dog. So out we go for a walk. Into fresh nature. A little gap in the relentless rains of the last couple of days. Back in nature, walking. Still misty, but don't need heavy raincoats. There we are. Daily walks with a doggy dog. So very different from watching life in the city. In nature, things are what they are. Nothing pretends to be anything. We say it's a moody weather, but the weather isn't moody. It's just you who gets moody when you don't like the weather, right? The sun doesn't shine because it wants to be happy and needs to be happy and loved. It just does its thing. When the skies are clouded over, the sun isn't crying either. The clouds too, they're not enemies to the sun. They're just doing their thing, accumulating humidity, pouring it back in, and that's all there is to it. It is what it is, right? The trees are what they are. The hills are what they are. The bedrock does not budge. It is what it is, right? And there's a certain peace in all of that. Not trying to be anything else than what is. If only for the briefest moment, we can stop reacting, having opinions about what should be and what shouldn't be, missing what went and longing for what comes, to our tunings, to our tastes. If we can get over that, there is a certain peace and a certain presence there. Come rains, come sunshine, snowfall, floods, whatever, the full spectrum of the weather system, it happens in its necessary cycles. And it's exactly the same in our inner ecosystem. The weather of our emotions, the thoughts we have, they come and go in their cycles as they are. You don't need to get caught up in all of it. Let it happen. Nature is your greatest teacher. Sure, the cities of men are also your teachers, but they teach you an awful lot about how things are distorted. You have to keep peeling and peeling to see what's actually going on. Nature doesn't do that with you. In that, there's a certain freshness, joy, clarity, and peace. Be sure to return to nature as often as possible. The distortion fields cast by humanity are tiresome. They eat away at your brains, they eat away at your heart. You cannot do just that 24/7. Back to nature, back to what is. Feel it, recognize it, absorb it, and then carry that into your social sphere. The underneath of existence, embedded in nature, very clear. Not so clear on the overlay we built. Let nature help you declutter your life and your awareness. I think those are the observations from today. Casual Watcher out. Top of our misty hill. Can't sit down. Don't need a wet bottom. We keep on walking. That's alright. Be in nature. Be at peace. In the third installment, we witness and reflect on the patterns of our emotional weather, the highs and lows, the ups and downs, the sunshine and darkness, as it comes and as it goes, and it's never quite the end of the world. Why does the sun keep on shining? Why does the sea rush to shore? Don't they know it's the end of the world? Because I'm not having it the way I want it. So look, darling, your moods there are as off-key from the beats and melodies of the universe as my singing in the opening. The sun keeps on shining because it's doing its thing, right? And the birds keep on singing and the sea keeps on rushing to the shore as it happens. Don't need to read anything into it. So I mentioned the other day about how the weather isn't moody. It's just you who gets moody when you don't like the weather. And then I posted a video where it's raining cats and dogs and I'm borderline soaking. What's with that? So yeah, there is definitely a certain emotional resonance in different types of weather. As out there, so in here. Different tunings, different configurations, different tensions. That happens. It's natural and it's beautiful. The only problem is when you don't like that. That makes you sad. That generates suffering. That's the only bad mood. Soaking wet, hurting like hell, that's not bad mood. That's not suffering. That's just what is. It's an experience. Sweetheart taking a hike, a beloved pet creature dying, that's also not bad. And it's not bad mood. Fundamentally, it just is what is. Yeah, you have certain emotions as the weather rises and falls, but it's not bad. Maybe it's not the feeling that you prefer, but you see, right there is the problem. You so prefer. We prefer particular mental states and unprefer, avoid, reject other mental states. Battle with them. That leads to unnecessary tension and suffering. That's avoidable. So the birds keep on singing in their nests, minding their own business, not yours. The sea keeps on rushing to the shore, the tides keep on turning, the glaciers at mountain tops keep on happily melting and dripping away. And yes, sometimes it is the end of your world, a particular world you created for yourself, and then it's time to be reborn into a new world, a new frame of reference. Decluttering, clearing away that which led to your decay, your demise, holding on to the essence that was pristine, that was clear. And in there too, the sun keeps on shining, the moon keeps on reflecting, and the stars keep on glowing above. Be mindful of how you weave that new world of yours. Too many strings attached, and you trip into your own tripwires all over again. When the mountains are leveled and the oceans are raised, when everything absolute flatlines, that's the actual end of the world. Other than that, we are simply regenerating over and over and over. Happy cycles. Yes, casually watching those cycles, witnessing the weather rising and falling. That's what we do. Casual watcher out. In the fourth installment, we're on the high hills at the vantage point, zooming out from our little tunnels, reaching for the macro, the broadest picture of our existence, as it is, all things in their natural relations, untainted by our ideas. Lots of fresh air up here on the high hills helps you clear your mind from the immediate, zoom into a broader perspective. Sorry about the wind. Also someone's revving a chainsaw on the background, so no one said it's peace and quiet up on the high hills. But here we are, lounging at the viewpoint, contemplating what's going on. What's typically going on is people are anywhere but in the fullness of their awareness. Narrow spectrum. We step into these little reality bubbles, crafted by the identity we conceive for ourselves. Then we leap into the bubble bath, seeking reality tunnels to swoosh in, driven by our desire and intentions. And there we go onward. For whatever bearings we had of a broader map, we are still driven by our reactions, like bouncing around in a pinball machine. Then the sum total of those reality tunnels driven by our intentions, the zigzag, the mishmash, idiosyncratic compilations, that is actually the matrix and lay of the land in your awareness. When you're in it, when you are immersed in your little universe, you don't really see it for what it is. You don't see your finity when you're engrossed in it. You don't realize your conditions when you are bound by them and executing their directives. But when you zoom out, come to a higher vantage point, take in the big picture, you begin to realize, what the hell am I actually doing and what is this all a part of? Does it make any sense at all? The lack of rhyme and reason in your particular driven vectors only becomes evident when you see the full context. This here represents your typical dwelling. It's an upcycled container for infectious waste. How appropriate. But you can open the lid from your container, embark on a journey up the stairs to higher and higher planes of metacognition, where you actually witness all the sprouting little thoughts coming from your head, turning into desires, turning into intentions, and driving you down the merry road. It's not really a very merry road when you are driven down it without any control of the ride. Sure, you think you have free will, that you're in charge, but zoom out, see it for what it is. Up to a higher vantage point you go and see from there what's the actual reality of how I roll. Is there actual free will, or are we still very, very bound by our conditions? Release yourself from your bondage. You only ever release yourself from that bondage of conditions when you stop reacting, when you stop having preference over this and that, should be, may not ever be. When you battle the winds, then, you're on the losing side. There's of course the same old change what you can if you must, and if you can't, then don't worry about it, right? Don't beat your head against the brick wall. Was there maybe a point somewhere in there? I don't know. Figure it out, alright? Casual watcher rolling on down the next road. The road less taken, recalling all the roads ever taken. Alright. And there we have the first 4 installments from the Casual Watcher series, landing on the witness plane, taking in raw reality as it is, going with the ups and downs as it is, and zooming out to see the fullness of all that is. A clear watcher does not see through the eyeballs, does not take the input through distorting lenses. All things as they are, we simply witness without opinions. How clear and radiant the suchness of reality itself, just as it is, free of your veils of distortion. Even within your veils, in your bubbles of illusion, all of it is being seen, being watched, being witnessed. Not by another, by consciousness itself, plain and evident if only you exit from your tunnels. Happy watching.